Good morning. What day is this? Thursday. The good lady just gave me a penny there. Found it on the floor. Find a penny, pick it up. And all the day you'll have good luck, says she. Pass it on, and hopefully we'll get a bit of luck. We'll have a bit of luck on the back of it. I can't remember the other part of the saying. But 1 penny. There you are. A new one too. Yes, what we're working on. Well, as you probably noticed at the back of me, the sticks are organised. Well, organised, I've got them all out. I'll look on now. Have I got too many? Yeah, can you never have too many sticks? I don't really know, like, you know. We got one away the other day there. It was the... Oh, Maria came and picked up the thing for our boat, our canal boat, and she took a shine to this one. Well, not this one. His neighbour. I made two of them, and so she bought that too, and she was at it. She loved it. Very nice. So one away. There you go. This week, I would like to say I've been busy on something, but I've been playing this week, and I'm going to show you in a moment. Oh, Antler. Yeah, we've moved on a bit with that. I'll let you see it. We've cut well, on the last one I'd cut the skull away, but we've now reformed it and put in a wooden plug for the neck. Goes in, that's been screwed and resined in, and that's the main fixing that will come through from the back. These two screws here, they're just locating screws. They'll give two holes, slightly bigger bored into the wood for locating it than just putting it at the point I want. They'll get filled with a bit of resin, so everything that fixes it will be hidden. You see an awful lot of them nowadays where they fix them from the front. The chap selling the Antler were good. They said they were out of Balmoral, but I don't really know. It wasn't there were only 10 pointers, but they wasn't looking for a lot for them as such. 150 quid. They're a good set of Antler, but I've looked at a lot of this kind of things. As I said, this is the first time I've really done it. And the chap, when he was speaking to me about mounting it, was quite happy to lose most of the skull and just it's really the switch you're after. But I felt that I wanted to keep a chunk of it. Certainly wanted to keep it gives the shape of the head. It gives it, to me, it gives it a better look if it's got a partial bit of the skull there. How much? Well, there's the thing. Did I put a lot of work into keeping this? Yes, I did. I think it's worth it though. I think when it's, I've got a mount for it now. I found a piece of hardwood that is hidden, which will do fine. It's got a hole through it, but by the time I'm finished with it, it'll all be sorted out. So I've shaped it off, and it actually works quite. What it is, I'm not sure. I could say it was Brazilian hardwood, and it might be. I really don't know. It's a really old piece of timber. I remember buying all the offcuts of this stuff, a whole load of different types of wood off a chap many years ago. He came and bought stuff off of me, and retired doctor, and he bought a couple of tools, I think it was, off me. And anyway, I ended up, we done whatever need be, and I went to his and picked up a lot of different, he was into a lot of different kind of things and whatnot, same with myself. So there you are. But I'm quite happy with this. So it's had a bit coat if you're faking it off, like there's a mesh in here, and what it is I use this. I don't use it for this. This is the first time I've used it for this thing, but it's plasterboard patches, and it's an light aluminium mesh that can be easily cut, and I resined it up to the part of the skull that I cut away and filled up with. As I say, it's still to get rubbed down. Things have still to get done with it yet, as such. But I decided to play this week. I'll show you in a moment. Dear, dear. But yeah, the gyprock patches are very good. They come in all different sizes. I had them lying around from something I was doing years ago, and yeah, so it worked really well. And the fact that it's perforated, when you could use plaster filler or whatever you wanted on it. I just had that knock around, so that's what I used. But I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite happy with the look on the thing. I had thought about putting a bit of rustic into it. I could have got a nice bit of old Scots pine, which I hate to say it, but I had a few pieces there a while back there, but I used them on something else. I was going to keep them, but it was really old stuff, and it was probably one of the old Caledonian pines. The reason that this stuff hadn't been used is because it had been sections that had been cut out of the tree. The grain was terribly cross. It was terribly cross-grained at that. These pieces, and obviously didn't want to use it for anything, whatever they were doing with it at the time, and it had been put away and basically forgotten about. And I knew I should have kept it, but I used it on something else. I'm not telling you what, because but it was there. It was at that moment in time, so just used it. But anyway, I regretted it. So, but there you are. We got this, and once it's all thinged up, it'll be champion. We hope. I should have been working on this week, but I decided that I would play for the rest of the week, and I ended up making these. I don't even know what they are or not. These are gaffs, fishing gaffs, poaching gaffs, fishing gaffs. We used for poaching too. These are different ones. These have a harpoon head on, and I'm not going to say what they were particularly used for, but I've had the heads lying around for a long time, and so I think it was probably the fact I was working on the extension for the narrow boat that put me in mind to say, well, I'm going to do this. So there's a pair off, and I've quite enjoyed it actually. It's been quite good, and make them look like they belonged a century ago, and I've quite enjoyed the getting there, the particular look of things and whatnot. Yeah, and you must play. You must play. Now the interesting part of this will be trying to sell them, trying to get somebody to buy them. That's a challenge. That's a challenge. Is it better to work to a commission and have people? In some ways, yes, it is, because you know that what you're going to do is going to be going out the door quickly. But sometimes the missing, yeah. This I sometimes like making something that I want to make, but then you never know whether they're going to get it away. But I think they will, as display pieces. Then it's probably down to price again. But it's there anyway, and that's it. So, but we had some. It took quite a bit of time actually, but it was interesting. That I like kind of, in a way, faking things up and making it look as if there's a bit of fun to be had in it. You must have fun. You know, can't be serious all the time about things. You've got to play around, and that's what's good about this kind of thing, is you can take stuff that's lying around that there's no real value at all. And that's why I keep a hold of all odds and sods, because you never know. And I do the weirdest things at times. But we shall have a bit of fun. Probably trying to sell them, but well, how we describe them I don't really know. I'm busy thinking about that at this moment. Yeah, the salt and pepper things too, they're just about there. They've a little bit to clean off and a rub down, a final varnish and a bit of felt on the bottom. But yeah, alright. Chap was in yesterday. My COVID-19. We've got an M&S 20 survivor in the village now. And Alistair, I came in with, we've got a long way, he came in with some potatoes for me. They're very nice. And, but I'm afraid he's about the same age as myself, maybe a year or so younger. But he's been laid off with one of these jobs that really started really early in the morning, and in Edinburgh and whatnot, but it's been the whole thing's been reconfigured. They're having difficulty M&S now. I don't think with the food side of things, but certainly with all the other side of things, they're having difficulty. But anyway, it's, you know, they're working 3 days a week. Time, where does it go? 3 days a week, but that's the end of. So it's taking it kind of hard, I think. But as I explained to when people were saying about him, thing with us as well, that's probably because he's worked for a really good employer. And I think above all things that M&S has been a really good employer, and he's thoroughly enjoyed. Having said that, he worked beside a man who was doing much the same as him, and he was 75. So there you are, nobody, they don't really want to go in some ways. I have never had that experience. I have never experienced working for anybody that I was sad to go. I was always glad to get away from them, honestly. There you are. Hope that was of interest, and we'll leave it at that. Now we'll go and figure out how to word this and see where we can, what we attract on the back of it. Who knows? But I do enjoy that side of it too. It's a bit of a challenge, so, and you never know. And so, you meet, because of this, you meet some really interesting people at times. And encounter some not so interesting ones, but that's always the way of things. Anyway, all the best. Cheers.